Hello everyone, myself lecturer Miss Aditi Anil Pushare, Master of Pharmacy in Quality Assurance Techniques. Today we are going to discuss about the topic sterile dosage forms, that is parenterals from pharmaceutics too. So the topics to be covered in our today's session are as follows: parenteral dosage forms, definition of it, general requirements for parenteral dosage form, advantages of parenteral dosage form, disadvantages of parenteral dosage form, and types of parenteral formulations. So first of all, see about the sterile products. The definition of it is: sterile products are the dosage form of therapeutic agents that are free from viable microorganisms. These sterile products include the following: parenterals, ophthalmic, irrigating preparations. Of these, parenteral products are unique among the dosage forms of the drugs because they are injected through the skin or mucous membranes into the internal body compartment. Then the parenterals, the term derived from the Greek word, that is para means outside and enteron means intestine. Parenterals are the sterile solutions or the suspension of drug in an aqueous or a oily vehicle. Parenteral drugs are administered directly into the veins, muscles, or under the skin or more specialized tissues such as spinal cord. The term parenteral used for any drug or fluid whose delivery doesn't utilize the alimentary canal for entering into the body tissues. General requirements for the parenteral dosage forms, that is stability, sterility, free from pyrogens and toxins, free from foreign particles, isotonic, chemical purity. Characteristics of parenteral dosage forms: the parenteral products are unique from any other type of pharmaceutical dosage form for the following reasons: all the products must be sterile, all the products must be free from pyrogenic, that is endotoxin contamination, injectable solutions must be free from visible particulate matter. This includes the reconstituted sterile powders. Products should be isotonic, although the strictness of the isotonicity depends on the route of administration. Products administered into the cerebrospinal fluid must be isotonic. Ophthalmic products, although not parenteral, must also be isotonic. Products to be administered by the bolus injection by the routes other than the intravenous IV should be isotonic or at least very close to isotonicity. Intravenous infusions must be isotonic. All the products must be stable, not only the chemically and physically like all other dosage forms, but also stable microbiologically, that is sterility, freedom from pyrogenic and visible particulate contamination must be maintained throughout the shelf life of the product. Products must be compatible, if applicable, with the IV diluents, intravenous diluents, delivery systems, and other drug products co-administered. Advantages: useful for patients who cannot take drugs orally, rapid onset of action, useful for emergency situations, providing sustained drug delivery, that is implants, intramuscular depot injection, avoid first pass metabolism, can inject drug directly into a tissue, that is a target drug delivery, useful for delivering the fluids, electrolytes or nutrients, total parenteral nutrients, that is TPN, can be done in hospitals, ambulatory infusion centers and home health care centers. Complete bioavailability: certain pharmaceutical agents, particularly peptides, proteins, and many chemotherapeutic agents can only be given parenterally because they are inactivated in the gastrointestinal tract when given by the mouth. The parenterally administered drugs are relatively unstable and generally highly potent drugs that require strict control of administration to the patient. Due to the advent of biotechnology, parenteral products have grown in the number and usage around the world. Disadvantages: pain on injection, difficult to reverse and administer drugs effect, sensitivity or allergy reaction at the site of injection, requires strict control of sterility and non-pyrogenicity than other formulation. Trained person is required, require specialized equipment, devices and techniques. to prepare and administer drugs, more expensive and costly to produce. Parenteral routes. The term parenteral literally means to avoid the gut, that is gastrointestinal tract, GIT, and refers to any route of administration outside or of or beside the alimentary tract. Thus, the parenterals are injectable drugs that enter the body directly and are not required to be absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract before they show their effect. Parenteral route of administration usually have a more rapid onset of action than other routes of administration. Routes of parenteral administration: intradermal ID, subcutaneous SC, intramuscular IM, intravenous IV, intraarterial, intracardiac, intraarticular, joint, that is joint, intrasynovial means joint fluid area, intraspinal, that is intrathecal or spinal fluid. Classification are small volume parenterals, that is SVP. Second one, large volume parenteral, that is LVP. So this is small volume parenteral, large volume parenteral. Small volume parenterals, United States of Pharmacopoeia definition: an injection that is packed in container labeled as containing 100 ml or less. Large volume parenterals means definition is LVP. Large volume parenteral are parenterals designed to provide fluid, calories, that is dextrose solution, electrolytes. Combination of these and volume should be 101 to 1000 ml. Large volume parenterals requirements are sterile, non-pyrogenic, free from particulate matter. Volume should be 101 to 1000 ml. Single dose unit, no preservative. Clear solution except fat emulsion. Isotonic but hypertonic, also administered in total parenteral nutrition, that is TPN. See in these diagrams, figures. Difference between SVP small volume parenteral and LVP large volume parenteral. The parameter, first of all, let's see for SVP, and also in comparison to SVP, also see about the LVP. So volume of small volume parenteral 100 ml or less. In case of LVP 101 to 1000 ml. Routes in SVP intravenous, intramuscular and subcutaneous. In case of large volume parenteral, LVPs are given with IV intravenous route and also non-IV, non-intravenously. Dosage unit single or multiple in case of SVP. In case of LVP, they are single. Preservatives are used in small volume parenteral while they are not used in large volume parenteral. Buffers are used in small volume parenteral while not used in large volume parenteral. Formulation: in case of small volume parenteral, it contains solution, emulsion, suspension. In case of large volume parenteral, it contains solution and oil in water, nutrient emulsion. Isotonicity, this for SVP small volume parenteral it is not essential, but for large volume parenteral isotonicity should be must. Pyrogenicity is non-essential for small volume parenteral, but for the large volume parenteral it should be must. Use: small volume parenteral are used as a therapeutic and diagnostic purpose, but the large volume parenterals are used for the nutrition, detoxification and during surgery also. Classification: injections may be classified in 6 general categories, that are solutions ready for injection, dry soluble products ready to be combined with a solvent just prior to use, suspensions ready for injection, dry insoluble products ready to be combined with a vehicle just prior to use, then emulsions, and sixth one, liquid concentrates ready for dilution prior to administration. So the learning outcomes from this session: sterile dosage form as a parenteral. The learning outcomes are, first of all, what is parenteral dosage form, then general requirements of parenteral dosage form, then the advantages of parenteral dosage form, then disadvantages of parenteral dosage form, and the types of parenteral formulations. Thank you.